Boom, what's up you guys? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to the channel. Palantir has just announced their Q1 earnings reports, and unsurprisingly, it was incredibly impressive. Also unsurprisingly, the stock is currently falling over 13% in the following session. In this video, we're going to go over some of the numbers in this report. We're going to go over the good and the bad. We're going to take a look at the charts. I want to give you guys my technical thesis on Palantir stock, primarily in the short term, talk about some potential pullback targets, and then we'll zoom out a little bit and talk potential longer term bullish technicals, I'll say. That'll make more sense as we dive into the charts. And then at the end of the video, I want to take a look over some analyst calls following this earnings report. Okay. Palantir, as many of you know, is a name that we've been talking about on the channel here for a long time. It's been a member of the Waves portfolio for over a year now. Our average purchase price on Palantir is $22.50, which is obviously an impressive entry, and the position has done us very well. We've also traded call options and put options on the stock, and really earlier this year made some life-changing gains on put options. But Palantir, all of that being said, is a name that is near and dear to the channel, to the heart of my portfolio primarily. First link in the description if you guys want to join the trading team. More on that later. But Palantir is, again, a name that's I do care a lot about, and I do see a lot of potential in over the long term. So that's why I do want to take just a very small, short amount of time prior to us diving into the earnings report itself and prior to talking about some technicals. I just want to give you guys a real general thesis, my thesis on Palantir right now, okay, as a result of this earnings report. So right now, the stock is obviously trading at a massive PE ratio. I think like 60, 65 times 2026 revenue, which is a very, very crazy multiple. PE ratio is significantly higher than that. PE ratio is currently at 550. So valuation in a classical historical sense is a foolish metric to use when you're talking about a stock like Palantir. Hyper growth, crazy demands, crazy just the prospective market and the prospective demographic for Palantir will just continue to expand. So it's very difficult to properly value a company growing at this scale with this much kind of abstract growth ahead of it fairly. Okay. So that being said, short term is looking bearish. We will cover those targets once again in a little bit after we go over the reports. But I just want to make clear that although I do think a pullback in the short term is likely, I still think that there is a lot of room for growth for the stock over the long term. I know that's a very generic thing to say, but I believe it to be true. I just want to say Buffett retiring made me think of how Buffett retired this past weekend. Spoiler alert, I guess, if you're not aware, but it's not really a spoiler. Whatever. Anyway, Buffett, who is regarded as the greatest investor of all time, who beat the S&P 500 by 1% over the course of 20 years, which also just goes to show you guys, it's just his classic quote. It's time in the market. It's not timing the market. Okay. Time spent in the market, not timing the market. But anyway, his best investment over the course of his career was Apple. And he invested in, I remember when he invested in Apple, it was 10 years ago. Okay. A lot of people, if you invested in Apple 10 years ago, and I thought this at the time too, you're late. Okay. You're late to the game. And it's easy to think that when something runs up. And just that reminded me of what Palantir is right now. So Palantir is a company that's currently trading, what's their market cap right now? Currently trading at a $250 billion market cap. I mean, that's for right now. I do think it's high. That's why I also think a pullback is likelier than not. And, it could get even worse than we're going to cover. But again, more on that later. Palantir is a company that I think can hit $1 trillion+. This video, or was like Palantir's NVDA moment has come. And that is what I see Palantir to be. Palantir is what NVIDIA was, a couple of years ago. And with all that being said, that's just, I'm not going to harp on this much more. But again, this company is growing at such a massive clip with such again, who knows how many customers will need their software over the coming years, decades. So Palantir is a legacy company. I think this company has an amazing future ahead of it. For full transparency right now, I'm not trading calls or puts on this. We weren't trading them going into the earnings report because the stock is just trading in it has been trading in a way that again, I'm not confident in trading. At least I haven't been. So I just want to make it clear I'm not trading call options or put options on the stock. Again, in the Waves portfolio, there are common shares. I do have a large common share position that I'll be probably holding until my retirement. I've trimmed some profits because, again, our average purchase price on these common shares is $22.50. So got in a good time. I've locked in some profits. The rest is there for retirement. But there are plenty of names, some on the watch list right here that I'm currently trading options on. I am an option swing trader. That is my specialty. That is what I've built my kind of career off of. And if you guys want to join the trading team, if you want to join the journey, if you want to know how we've 3x the portfolio already over the course of 2025, locked in a lot of profits. It's been a bumpy ride, but that's trading. Anyway, if you guys want to join the team, then welcome. It's the first link in the description of this video. It's my complete portfolio daily trade alerts and email newsletters. $15 a month. It's $40 for every 3 months. It's up to you, or you can try it free for 7 days. The reason I do free trials is because I'm confident in the product I provide. And I trust to be sticking around. If not, you can just peace out whenever you want. So I appreciate you. If you join, welcome to the team. If you do, as always, existing members, a comment, a little just testimonial means a lot of your experience. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. If you join, I appreciate you for riding the waves with me already. And yeah, I appreciate you watching this video. Let's get to reading. So Palantir shares fall as company reports inline earnings, lifts full year guidance. Key points. Palantir beat estimates for first quarter revenue and boosted its full year guidance as companies adopt its AI software. Quote, "We are delivering the operating system for the modern enterprise in the era of AI," CEO Alex Karp wrote in an earnings release on Monday. Palantir shares have defied 2025's broad downtrend in technology stocks, with shares up more than 60% year to date. Palantir boosted its revenue guidance. We kind of just earned that. So earnings per share, 13 cents adjusted versus 13 cents expected, right in line. Revenue, pretty impressive beat here, 884 mil versus 863 mil expected. Okay. The defense technology said that its commercial revenues grew 71% from a year ago to 255 million, while its government segment sales jumped 45% to 373 million. The company is forecasting that U.S. commercial revenues will top 1.178 billion this year. Karp attributed Palantir's government sector growth to greater U.S. defense sector adoption of its tools. He said that demand for large language models and the software supporting it has turned into a stampede and a ravenous whirlwind of adoption. This guy uses a lot of crazy adjectives. Palantir's revenues grew 39% from 634.3 million in the year ago period. Net income rose to about 214 million or 8 cents per share from roughly 105.5 or 4 cents per share in the year ago quarter. U.S. revenues jumped 55% to 628 mil, said Palantir. Okay, so again, great numbers here. This wasn't surprising to me, probably many of you in the slightest, to see that they're still growing at an impressive rate, even in this pretty uncertain and definitely consumer unfriendly macro backdrop. That's the nice thing about Palantir, though. They're not. I don't want to say they're entirely immune to any tariff or geopolitical conflict at hand. Honestly, geopolitical conflict could be a net positive for this company, given like their defense contracts, etc. But anyway, they are more resilient than most when it comes to, as primarily the tariff issue that's at hand at play right now. So that's a positive. But again, the stock is trading at such a wild traditional valuation that it's not surprising to see that we're pulling back, especially just given the fact that the NASDAQ and S&P are probably pulling back too. On that note, this video is honestly kind of getting long, you guys. I'm gonna make a members exclusive video reading over this and going over all of these like updated analyst price targets, going over what the analysts say too, because I think even the bulls and the bears have valid arguments. It's easy to be bullish and it's easy to be bearish on the stock. That's the weirdness of Palantir. So I'm going to make a members exclusive YouTube video after this. And then I'm also going to make a video covering the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, because they're both painting a very, very clear picture, at least in my view, as far as the short term. So if you want to join the YouTube channel and become a member of Waves Capital YouTube, just hit the join button below this video. That's only $5 a month. So I pump out the majority of the videos, as a lot of you know, are now members exclusive. That's just how I like the intimate setting for these YouTube videos nowadays. So yeah, if you want to become a member of the YouTube channel, welcome to that as well. That's the first link, or not the first link. That's the join button below this video. Okay. So Palantir, again, strong earnings report. Stock is still falling. We are currently down 13.11% as I'm writing this, and we'll see what happens in real time. But as far as the short term is concerned, one of my favorite trading patterns, also have a members exclusive trader tips video on this. One of my favorite patterns to trade off of is currently in play. And if you doubt the validity or efficacy of good old stick figure trend lines, as I always say, you haven't been in the game long enough, and you can probably watch this play out. We'll see how well it plays out, but I'm pretty confident in this. It is a line of broken resistance coming into play as new support. This works vice versa as well. If you get some broken support, it can come into play on a bounce as new resistance, okay? So this is one of my favorite just trading patterns, technical patterns to trade off of, and it comes to fruition. It materializes far more often than not. Okay, so there's a very, very clear line of broken resistance that has yet to come into play as new support. You could almost say that this was a retest, but that's not cutting it for me, especially given the fact that the momentum has shifted and the bears are in control, at least as far as the short term is concerned. Okay, so as far as the short term goes, because I'm also pretty bearish on the NASDAQ, and that'll make sense if you guys watch the video I record after this. I think it's incredibly likely that we do fall, that Palantir falls another 7 to 8% from where we are now at 107.50 to retest this line of broken support as new resistance. Keep in mind, you guys, Palantir has been absolutely ripping just over the past couple of weeks. Like this would just take us back to levels where we were in late April. So this is only erasing like a couple of weeks of gains. We're still way up. Another thing, this is a textbook double top pattern from a macro perspective. So let's zoom out a little bit, talk longer term. Short term, this is going to be my target. I think Palantir probably falls just below $100, maybe to like 100 even. Nice psychological even there as well, depending upon when this target is hit. But when we get a pullback, like we might get a little dead cat bounce here and then another wave down. But I think this happens sooner than later. Okay. And if it doesn't happen soon, then it's probably going to take a while. Or then it's possible that we just continue to rally to new all-time highs. But the Fed meeting that happens today, what the S&P and NASDAQ do, obviously matters a lot as well. Okay, so zooming out a little bit, you can see, as I was saying earlier, the double top formation that Palantir is just printed. Okay, clear double top. I think that might be a precise double top, which is pretty crazy given the volatility of the stock. But when we zoom out here, you guys, it's important to remember that Palantir is, again, we bought, when did we buy this? We were talking about this I think we started talking about it in like May, June of 24. I don't know, you can check the first video, but that's when we introduced it to the Waves portfolio when I first started making videos about it. And it's just been crazy to watch the stock. This is a textbook hype cycle, which is why we bought those puts earlier this year and made that that life-changing trade. But it's just so, I'm not even going to actually speculate on this from a technical perspective because I'm not confident enough to give you guys a strong technical analysis aside from the short-term pullback. But I'll just reiterate what I said at the beginning of the video. If you have a 5, 10, 15, 20 plus year time horizon on the stock, I wouldn't worry at all. None of this is financial advice. You guys know the drill. I'm holding the majority of my Palantir shares for the long term, again, until I retire. If I retire, who knows? But until I'm an elderly individual, and I think this company could easily, $1 trillion market cap, especially just given the rate of inflation, et cetera. $1 trillion market cap would not surprise me in the slightest. It would actually surprise me more if we didn't see that in the decade ahead. So again, if you have that long-term time horizon, I think Palantir could at least 4x from here. They'll probably do a stock split, send the stock even higher, do the usual stuff, do some buybacks, and just the growth of the company is amazing. So short-term bearish, long-term diamonds, and yeah, let me know what you guys think about Palantir in the comments below. I hope you guys got some value out of the video. If you want to join the trading team, if you want my daily email trade alerts and email newsletters, all the analysis, I include 5-6 charts every single day in these newsletters. That's the first link in the description. If you want the members exclusive videos, it is going to be the join button right below this video. And yeah, you guys, welcome to the team. I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you in the comments downstairs. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.